Artist Spotlight page and or tab, whatever you like to call it. Check him out. Read his bio. Click on his photograph. It will take you to his site. And like I said, once again, please let him know where you're listening from. That is so, so important. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, and American Veterans Radio's pleasure, to have live with me from London, England, the man you just heard, Stewart Mack. Welcome, Stewart.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Oh, man, thank you so much for staying up. I know it's a little later there, but...
yeah, it's a little past my bedtime, but I'm okay.
Well, no, wait a minute. You're talking to an old man here a little bit. But thank you so much. I mean, I tell you what, it's been absolutely incredible, the response we've had. And you've got this huge worldwide fan base. What's it feel like?
You know what? It's a bit of a shock when you kind of do these things and you kind of see people commenting and posting and literally all over the world, and it's pretty. It's a nice feeling, you know.
Well, I got to tell you this. Let me give one more shot. I'm giving one more shot a shout out because they are just love you to death, and they're tuned in there in the United Kingdom. Great charity.
It's a pretty amazing organisation. It's run by some amazing people, and they do a hell of a lot of good work for charity, and it's kind of a pleasure to be involved with what they do and the festival they put on over in the UK. And we have a lot of fun when we're there, and the people that follow that and support us become pretty die-hard fans of ours. So it's always a pleasure to play for those guys.
And we will actually get into a little bit more of that. But congratulations on your latest album, Less Equals More.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, the new one out. It's the greatest hits, as we like to call it. It's probably a bit of a grand title, but it's acoustic versions of some of our favourite songs and a few new ones thrown in as well, but done in kind of an acoustic style, stripped back style, really, with just me and my guitarist and best pal / little brother, Dean Roberts, who I know is listening. So he's on there. His talent's spread all over that thing. So.
Actually, I got to see a video of you and Dean. And, hey, by the way, Dean, thank you so much. Very talented individual. Yes, he is.
I won't say no. We're live on there.
Now, I'm gonna start off with this is kind of a quote / comment that someone made about you that's on your Facebook page. So
okay.
I'm not meaning to embarrass you, but I want to address this. Okay, and here I go, ladies and gentlemen. And I quote, "It's all about the songs." That's a reply you'll get from Stewart if you ask him what singles him out from the current crop of singers / songwriters. If there's no song, it doesn't matter, Stewart said. If you're the best looking, the best dressed, best managed guy, signed to the biggest record label with the biggest budget, people buy into the music. If it's where all starts, and that's what makes it happen. Nothing else. Wow. That's refreshing and that's profound. Please.
That sounds like something I would say, yeah.
Well, no, but really, I mean...
Well, it's true. That was, that's kind of my take on it. I think you can dress it up however you want, but if it all comes back to a guy or a girl sitting in a room with an instrument and just writing a song, something simple, and if that isn't there to start with, I don't think you can. All the bells and whistles in the world don't disguise that. So that's kind of what I was trying to say there, I suppose.
Now, let me ask you. You're talking about you and Dean doing this acoustic EP that's coming out.
Yeah.
But all right, and I just not putting you on the spot, but let me ask you: do you like the full band, or do you like the acoustic, or do they both have their place?
They both have their place. I mean, the songs always start as acoustic songs. Like we write them on a guitar in a bedroom or wherever we might write, and then they develop and they become songs that we perform with my full band, who I've been with me for sort of 6, 7, 8 years, and they have their sound and they have a place in that format. But then more often than not, we're playing them acoustic as a duo pretty much. So it's 2 guitars, 2 vocals, and you hear the raw song. And I think people really connect with that. They get an understanding of where the song came from and how it was formed, and they can have a real connection to that there. So people like when we do the acoustic stuff, and we love doing it that way. So I think they each have their place, and I love both. But yeah, it kind of starts with an acoustic guitar and a vocal, and that's what we like to do.
I was reading somewhere, and I don't even have this in front of me, but I was kind of researching you. But You've been like really kicking ass for about 10 years now.
Yes, but it is about 10 years. I mean, I've been playing for a lot longer than that, but I've kind of been doing it in this format as quote unquote Stewart Mac, in either as a band, as a solo artist, or with Dean as the duo. For about 10 years on a serious level, and we've done the four albums, and we've kind of done a lot in that time, and we just love it, So it's 10 years. It's flown by, really.
But I was reading, and what I meant by that is yes, it's been 10 years, but here's the thing. And like I said, doggone it, I don't know where I did. I thought I made myself known. But anyway, just live radio, so here we go.
That's fine. Just say whatever.
Yeah, but it was like this individual who was critiquing you was saying here's this brand new artist. Here's this guy that look out UK, look out world. Here he is. And then I read into it, but you've been doing this for 10 years. How does that feel when you finally get to
the longest overnight success?
Yeah, we'll talk about that because I mentioned that a lot.
That's true. I think that's true of a load of acts that you see come through. The first time you hear of them, you think they've come from nowhere, but they've been, bands have been doing the hard graft for years. I mean, we always hark back to the Coldplay example, that they took 8 years to get a record deal, and now look at them. So we kind of hold that in as kind of our beacon of hope with what we're doing, that if it can take a band like that long to get discovered and come to the fore, then we've got, we're 2 years past that, but it could take us a little bit longer, but there you go.
Well, okay, let me ask you, you just hit on something, and I'm not going to let you get away with it because this is what I always ask any of our artist spotlight, regardless if they're recording artists or indie artists or in between, okay?
Yeah.
You just said, regardless if it takes us years to get a recording. I have noticed, and just let me throw this out there, and I want your honest perspective on this.
Yeah.
A lot of bands and a lot of people, the holy grail is a huge recording artist or recording group, like your Sonys or so on and so forth, pick you up. But when you do that, then you also start losing some of your individuality because it's a business, right? So now they're going to tell you what you need to do, and by the way, we're paying you to do this, so this is what. So where is your fine line between keeping your individuality and yet you're wanting a big record deal?
Well, it's the $1 million question, but I think in years gone by, then definitely the idea of getting the traditional record deal, having gold records all over your wall, and having success that way was probably what you aimed at, and that's what the definition of you've made it, you've succeeded was. I think the industry has changed so much, certainly in the time that I've been involved, and I have had the record deals in different countries, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. And I think as a singer-songwriter as well, you want to maintain as much creative, artistic control as you can, and I think you definitely lose that when you're under a label. Now, that's not to say that they don't have the benefits in terms of getting you to the widest audience possible and opening doors and getting you where you need to be, but I think it's a necessary evil, and I think most artists, if you ask them, would say we'd love to have all the benefits of being on a major label but do it ourselves and maintain all control. So I think they have their place, but am I desperate for a record deal? I think the answer is no. I wish I could reach the amount of people that a major record deal would give me, but doing it myself and maintaining control and doing what I want to do.
Okay, now with that being said, though, how have you found, social media, your YouTubes, your Twitters, your Facebook? Hasn't that really opened a big door for indie artists and people such as yourself? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, my following, the guys that are listening to me now are doing so because of social media, because they're friends that have seen me live or have found me through one form or another, have told their friends about it, and they've told them on Twitter and they've told them on Facebook, and then they join in, and this whole thing grows. And that is what social media has afforded artists like myself who don't have a huge broadcasting company to tell the world about them. It's opened that avenue up. What it's also done is give that avenue to everybody. So the noise that you've got to get above now is probably greater than it ever was. But at the same time, everybody's got an outlet. I'm effectively a record company. We decide what songs we record, who we record them with, how we put the album out, what the album looks like, where we play, who we invite along to those gigs. You know, it's that kind of thing. We can control everything, and we get to allow people to see the real us. We're not a packaged thing. We are, you know, what you see is what you get with us, and that's what I think being an independent artist is all about.
Oh, and I absolutely love that. I mean, that's the way even with the radio station. I mean, we're not your traditional radio station, of the fact that we are, you know, we're just, in my case, I can only speak for myself. You know, I'm just a crazy dude that just loves music and loves, you know, hanging out with people. So
exactly, that's what it's all about, right? That's what music should be.
And you know, that, and exponentially, just what you were saying is the fact that when we started, this was kind of targeted more to the military, and it grew into, like I said, 183 countries. It's 93% of the world is tuned into us. It's like,
that's incredible.
It's crazy, is what it is.
Yeah, you couldn't have done that 5-10 years ago. Well, maybe 5, but 10 years ago you couldn't have done that, and therefore the chances of me sitting in London on a Thursday evening talking to that many people around the world would be impossible.
Yeah, and so that's just incredible. You know what you talk about around the world, and we talked about, you know, the 10 years that took till somebody finally started talking about you, even though, like you said, you've been doing it, busting your ass for years, right? But here's, I got to throw this statistic out there. You've actually been all over the world. You've done live shows nationally there in the United Kingdom, all across Europe, Asia, and where your album was released, and you earned over 35 million downloads in China and Taiwan alone.
Correct.
That is crazy.
That's a lot of people. That's Adele level.
Hello.
Hello.
But I mean, you've got, you know, if you're, and you sound like you're much like myself, but you've got to say sometimes, just pinch me. This is crazy, kind of. It's a good crazy, right?
It's amazing. I mean, you know, to get any group of people to do something 35 million times is no mean feat, whatever you're trying to do. So just the fact that many people clicked yes to downloading a song that we put out there was pretty amazing. I think the difficulty with China is it's a very different market to you know, the UK or to the States or, you know, large parts of the Western world. But so, you know, it was quite difficult to follow that up with your traditional touring and your traditional activities that a band would go and do. It's a very different industry. But yeah, it's quite an insane stat to have on your CV, you know.
You think?
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
No, I see, by the way, that you're actually going to be traveling here to the U.S. and Canada this year.
We are, yeah. We're sort of as our kind of fan base grows and demand kind of draws us to these places. We're looking to come out and do some shows. We're going to try and hit Nashville. We've had the privilege of sort of playing with a few of your very own artists when they've been over here, but Jen Bostic, Christian Kane, Matt Landy, and we're hoping to go and do some work with a guy called Matt Huff, who I think you guys play.
Yes,
a little bit of. Matt. Yeah, we're going to go and do some shows with him, hopefully, out in the States, and then he's going to come to the UK and do some with us. So we're kind of making roads into getting out to the States and kind of trying to see if we can build a bit of a following out there, really, because everyone hears our music and just sort of says, "Man, you should be in the States," and it's like, yeah, we would love to. So someone get us out there. So here's
the thing about
ourselves.
Here's the thing about Nashville, and a lot of people as soon as you think Nashville, everybody says they automatically think country music, and yes, it is kind of the country music epicenter, if you will, here. You know,
yeah.
But it's a lot bigger than that. I mean, for the fact that I mean, you have rock, but you know, we have a great a guy that's been working with us, Cameron Tilbury, who was actually originally Canadian, went over to the UK, and now he's just become a citizen. He lives in Nashville, and he loves. Just look him up, Cameron Tilbury. I'm just telling you, great guy, promotes the hell out of, and he does a wonderful job. But we love going to Nashville. I know we've been down there a few times ourselves, as far as the radio station was concerned, and we just love hanging out there because it's not just the atypical country music, you know, cowboy boot kind of thing. It is a wide open, just a great time.
That's it. Well, I mean, I see it as kind of like a songwriting town rather than a country music town. You know, I think some of the songs that have come out of Nashville over the years and are certainly coming out now are definitely way more towards the kind of stuff that I would call my style. But we've definitely got, you know, kind of country twinges in our stuff, but it's at the root it's very rock orientated. So I think the crossover is just so huge now that I think you can just see it as like an epicenter for sort of American songwriting, really, and that's sort of a very exciting thing to try and go and be a part of.
Well, especially when you look at it, where I say, and I have for many years now, that what we call now country music is basically Southern rock. It's kind of that Southern rock,
absolutely.
Right? Now, by the way, I've got a question from Ray Andrews, by the way, for you.
Oh, here we go. That name rings a horrible bell.
I'm sure. Well, I'm sorry. He says, ask Stewart where he writes most of his songs.
I knew that. I couldn't get through this interview without that coming up. So I have a strange affinity, shall we say, with writing songs whilst I'm on the toilet.
No, I think it's a fantastic time, right?
It is. I feel very at ease, and I can create in that environment. I don't know what it is, but I think it's the acoustics maybe of the room.
No, seriously, I agree.
A lot of tiling in those rooms, so I think perhaps the acoustics are good. I don't know, man. I've been doing it since I was a kid. When my mum used to come in from work, and I'd be at home, and she'd hear me, and she could hear that I was upstairs playing guitar, and she knew that all was okay because I was upstairs and probably sat on the toilet. Not always active, I have to say, but just in the bathroom, and kind of writing away, and that's it. So life is good when I've got a guitar in my hand, sat on the toilet.
Well, no, that's great. So apparently he knew a little bit more about you, but you're not the first one I've heard do that.
Yeah, no, I think there must be something with it. It must be something subliminal that happens with us musician types.
Or singing in the shower, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing, something like that.
But anyway,
that's where you go because people tell you to shut up, so you go away and hide in a room.
Yeah, nobody's going to bother you when you're there, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Now, you do have, coming up on the 21st of this month, what is it? You got a Stage It show going on?
Yeah, we're doing our debut on Stage It, which with all the guys from the IMS Festival and all our fans around the world, because they can't all come to our shows in the UK, so they've been sort of desperate for us to do one of these live stream shows. So we've set it up, and it's happening on the 21st of May. So Dean and myself will be in one bedroom, either mine or his, and there'll be a camera, and we'll be playing and singing and hoping people can hear us and are enjoying it at the other end of a computer screen somewhere.
And also on the 29th, you got your full band going to be hanging out at the Livestock Festival.
We are, yeah. So it's in Suffolk in the UK. There's some great acts. The Feeling. I don't know if you guys get those over there. And the Hoosiers and people like that. And
we have feelings, yeah, but.
Yeah, you have feelings, but
no. But when you mention the Hoosiers, I live in the state of Indiana here, and it is actually the Hoosier state. If you didn't.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. Well, the Hoosiers. I don't know if you get them, but they're a pretty cool UK rock band. Very kind of they're kind of quirky rock pop, and they're very cool. So we'll be playing with them. We're looking forward to it, and that's a lot of our shows are myself and Dean doing the acoustic duo. But then occasionally on the bigger stages we get to rock out with the full band, which is pretty exciting, and we get to sort of let loose a little bit and make a lot of noise for half an hour or so.
Well, let the Hoosiers know that this Hoosier.
I will.
They
need to get themselves to Indiana.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to. Now
they'll be welcome.
Now we were talking about this great charity group, One More Shot. You talk a little bit about that, because I think this is very important. My father died of cancer. I know that we're dealing with breast cancer, and I'll let you get into that. But cancer is just such a nasty thing.
It is. Sadly, there's not one person probably listening that hasn't been affected it, either by directly or indirectly, which is tragic enough in itself. But we actually did a gig in London 3 years ago, opening for Christian Kane when he came over here. And Dean and I performed for this amazing crowd of people. And afterwards we met a few other people, and they were involved in organising One More Shot, which is essentially a totally independent weekend music festival put on by some amazing people that have all been touched by cancer one way or the other, either directly or indirectly. They put on this amazing event, which is growing each year. There's bands from the States going, so Christian Kane comes over, Riley Smith with his band, Life of Riley, Jen Bostic, and we kind of do have an amazing weekend with a group of wonderful people. We perform, we play, we get to know a lot of people's stories, and we make some money for charity. And it's a pretty amazing weekend. And we keep getting asked back, and we'll never say no. As long as they want us, we'll always play. It's a pretty humbling weekend to be involved in, but it's it's a special thing. So everyone should check it out. So on my page, or just type in One More Shot, and you'll find a bit about it. But it's an amazing thing.
Well, Stewart, how can people find out more about you? How can they go out and buy your music? Where can they get
So the best place is probably to start is at the website. So Stewart-Mac. So it's Stewart with an EW, MAC. Search us out, find us, and on the website there's links everywhere. So we're on, the albums are on iTunes or directly from us. And all our information, Facebook, just type in Stewart Mac and you'll find us. And you can find out everything about us, videos, music, where we're playing. And get in touch, say hello. We love to know where you're from and where you want us to come and play. And the more we know what you want, then we will come and try and do it, because we don't get to do this if you guys don't support us. And I'll just take the time to say thank you to everyone that I know is listening from around the world. Pretty amazing to have you all listening to this. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. And by the way, I was watching one of your videos, and I want to say it was your video for Lost in the Moment, where you guys did in the airplane hangar? Is that
yes, yeah, on the hottest day of the year.
Yeah, and I remember you saying it was like, well, I know you guys do Celsius, we do Fahrenheit, but you said something, and I had to look this up. It was like almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
It was, yeah, and we're all dressed in leather and kind of in a
I
big
saw that.
tin
I'm like,
can.
oh, yeah.
Didn't think that one through.
But it actually came across. How long did it take you to do that video?
It was a long day. It was kind of like a 15, 16 hour day of just playing the same song again and again. It all looks quite glamorous at the end, but
yeah,
we were dying in there trying to do that video.
Yeah, see, a lot of people don't realize it. They have no clue, and nor maybe they shouldn't.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, let's not ruin it. It was great fun. We did it in one take. We were there for about 20 minutes. It was fine.
And we all know that's a lie. But anyway, it's all good. But, hey, Stewart, thank you so much for once again hanging out with us. I know it's later there, but more importantly,
it's a pleasure.
Having a great time. I mean, you and your band, you're just kick ass, and we really appreciate you being here with us and me and the world right now, and letting us spotlight you and letting the world know more about you. And please,
it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us. It's an honour to be a part of it.
And stay in touch. I mean, we'd always love to do that, and get new stuff
Absolutely.
coming out. You want to jump on the air with me anytime? You're more than welcome.
Will do. Consider it done.